Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Most people come to Busan, go to Haeundae Beach, and think they've seen what the city's coastline has to offer. They haven't. Busan has 7 distinct beaches, each one with a completely different character, crowd, and reason to visit. Today, we're going to take a look into all of these beaches. Let's get into it. First, let's take a look at Haeundae Beach, the one that everyone knows. It's 1.5 kilometers of sand, backed by a skyline of luxury hotels, and in peak summer, it pulls in crowds that generally have to be seen to be believed. Over 30 million visitors a year come to Busan, and a significant chunk of them end up right here. It's busy, it's loud, it's commercial, and it absolutely delivers. The water is clean, the facilities are excellent, and the surrounding area has more restaurants, cafes, and nightlife than anywhere else on the coast. If it's your first time in Busan, this is a great place to start. Gwangalli is Haeundae's slightly cooler, slightly less crowded neighbor, and for a lot of people who've spent time in Busan, it's actually the favorite. The beach itself is fine, but the real reason to come is the view of Gwangan Bridge. 7.4 kilometers of illuminated cable-stayed bridge stretching across the bay. It's best to come at night, get a coffee or a beer from one of the beach bars, and just sit with that view. On Saturday evenings, there's a permanent drone show over the water. Songjeong is on the other side of Dalmaji Hill from Haeundae, but it feels like a different world. The skyscrapers disappear, the crowds thin out, and the waves actually have some size to them. This is the birthplace of Korean surfing, and there are surf schools and rental shops right on the beach if you want to get in the water. Families come for the calmer end of the beach, surfers come for the breaks, and there are beach cafes all along the front if you'd rather just watch. It's also one of the only beaches in Busan that allows camping. Songdo is one of those beaches with a story behind it. Officially designated Korea's first public beach back in 1913, it fell out of fashion for decades and has been steadily reinventing itself ever since. What it has now that the others don't: a cable car ride over the water, the Songdo Cloud Trail's coastal walkway, and the Ilgwang suspension bridge. It's popular mainly with locals rather than international tourists, which means it never gets as overcrowded as Haeundae. Dadaepo is at the far southwestern end of the city, where the Nakdong River meets the Korea Strait. It's a long way out, which is exactly why the crowds never materialize. White sand, shallow surf, marshland full of migratory birds nearby, and the Dadaepo Sunset Fountain of Dreams, which is a large musical fountain that runs at sunset and is generally worth timing your visit around. This is a day trip beach. Bring a picnic, arrive in the afternoon, and stay for the sunset. Ilgwang Beach is the easier of the 2 northern beaches to get to. It's a crescent-shaped beach in Kijeongun with calm, shallow water and a good range of facilities for a beach that's this far from the city center. It's popular with families for exactly that reason. The waves are mild, the water is safe, and it never gets anywhere near the crowds of Haeundae or Gwangalli. There's a ship-like deck platform extending out over the water that's become something of a landmark at the beach. Imrang is Busan's northernmost beach, sitting right on the border with Ulsan, which tells you how far out it is. Most international visitors never make it here, and that's exactly what makes it worth going. The beach has a pine forest running along the shore behind it, finely sanded beach, calm water, and an atmosphere that's about as far from the Haeundae experience as you can get while still being in Busan. Something that catches a lot of visitors off guard is that Korean beaches have an official swimming season, and it's strictly enforced. The main beaches like Haeundae and Gwangalli open for swimming in late June and run through to mid-September. The smaller beaches, like Ilgwang, Imrang, and Dadaepo, typically open July 1st and run through August 31st. Outside those windows, the beach is still open for walking and visiting, but lifeguards aren't on duty and swimming isn't officially permitted. And regardless of season, swimming stops at 6 p.m. daily. The lifeguards will whistle you out, and they will whistle you out. Water temperature in Busan peaks in August at around 23 to 26 degrees Celsius, warm enough for comfortable swimming. By late September, it drops to around 20 degrees, which is still manageable but noticeably cooler. June water is typically around 18 to 20 degrees, which is fine for a quick swim, but not particularly warm. If you're visiting specifically to swim, July and August are your best months. If you're visiting for the atmosphere, the views, and the food, any time from May through October works well, and you'll deal with significantly fewer crowds outside of July and August. Haeundae during this period is generally one of the most densely packed beaches in Asia. It's an experience in itself, but if you're after space and calm, it's the wrong time. June and September are the sweet spots. The weather is good, the water is swimmable, the facilities are open, and the crowds are at a fraction of peak season. Weekdays are always quieter than weekends regardless of the month, and golden hour, early morning or late afternoon, is when all of Busan's beaches look their best and feel their calmest. Let's take a look at which beach might be right for you. So that's every beach in Busan. Where to go, when to go, what to expect, and which one is right for you. Busan's coastline is one of the best things about this city, and most visitors only ever see one small part of it. Hopefully, this changes that. If this was useful, hit the like and subscribe. There's a lot more Busan and Korea content coming. Drop a comment below and tell me which beach is your favorite. We'll see you in the next one.